2 more shows till the infamous summer break of doom.
Oh, that
Holy
sounds
moly.
good.
I
Sounds good.
like when you first started talking about this, I'm like, oh no, we couldn't possibly take time off. That's so dumb because I'm stupid. But like now that I decided to join you on this thing, like it almost feels like I'm going to school and suddenly I'm like not going to be going to school. Like, I'm just like, this is like school summer break for the first time in, I don't know, 30 years, which is really fun. And of course, I've already got I set a little mission for myself to go, introduce myself to a dozen projects on Ton and get them over here and get them on the show, just so we can start doing some research on there or whatever. But like, it's like, I'm technically only going to have one job instead of 3, which is feels very relaxing in advance. Anyway, happy Thursday. It's Thursday, right?
It's Thursday.
Okay,
yes.
Good. Awesome. We're trying to figure out, what do we want to chat about for, our last couple of shows. Tomorrow's going to be the last show in a couple of weeks. And there's some news. Spielworks launched their the MVP of their Tapper app. I've been messing around with it for the last 20 minutes. We'll share a link for that if you haven't got that yet. It's pretty fancy. And again, like we're getting into this space, so the more feedback we can get about what you guys like, don't like, think it's going to work or whatever, it's going to be really, really good. And then at a loss for what to talk about today, I just dug back into the AI well. But the thing that inspired it actually was there's that we talked about it briefly yesterday, the Catizen or whatever, the little Tapper game's got 24 million users, 3.5 million active daily users, $16 million in revenue. So I mean, getting my attention. So you go to their website and they're like, oh, we're all into AI and metaverse, and then you try and like dig in, like, oh, you're using AI? How are you using AI? No. Is it like, and again, maybe it's aspirational or whatever, but I wanted to chat about or brainstorm what could actually be done. I know Spielworks, Adrian, they're talking about using generative AI as well, and I think I personally think there's going to be a lot of stuff that you can do with that, right? And then of course you want to produce MVPs and market test it, because you could make the fanciest freaking Lamborghini on the face of the earth, people might not like it. So that's going to be important too. So yeah, that's what I figured we could make the show about today. And if we accidentally ended up having to, talk about how AI is going to completely, totally transform the entire earth in our lifetimes, then great.
Okay.
And see. Good morning, Funko Coffee and A Respect. What's going on? Yep. So I mean, I guess the elephant in the room for us, Chris Tuttle, runs bees. That's kind of what she does. She's literally, the biggest thing that she wants to get, the second she gets any significant money, she wants to get a gene sequencer, which apparently is a thing you can just buy for $100,000 now, which is nuts. Because she genetically modifies bees to try and save them, and by extension save the rest of us. Like that's what she's doing when she's not working on our projects, which is nuts. But she's also raising bees, and they apparently got like oodles and oodles of swarms that they ended up getting picked up from all around the thing. So she's been like literally dealing with bees 24 hours a day for the last like month, basically. And that's almost done. So she's going to come back and we're going to be able to work on the game and actually get that launched for flip drives. But that was like the easiest thing for us, right? Like we're able to generate stories, we're able to generate images, and we're just leaning into the relatively simple use cases there to make one-of-one NFTs and to make stories that start to interact with each other. And there's just like, we're really excited about being able to do that.
This really makes me think, is the image in the NFT what makes the NFT valuable?
I mean, I don't think that's
it's
ever
art what makes it valuable.
I don't think that's ever been true, but I might be biased. I know there's some people like, oh, that's really cool, but I don't think that's what it is. I think if it's rare, that's interesting. I mean, like you could find an example where that was the case, probably, right?
Yeah, I know. I agree, but now that you say it, if an AI created, is it rare?
Yeah, it's singular.
Why?
Because there's never been anything like it.
There,
I mean, by definition, there have been things like it. But I mean, like, honestly, that's
yeah.
so the where you're going is like, is it real art if AI makes it? And the answer is yes.
No, I'm not debating that.
Okay.
Is it real art of if AI makes it? I would say yes, depending on how the creator used AI to achieve his goal.
Okay.
It depends on the artist. It does not depend on the technology, as everything in this
Okay.
world. The technology is basically irrelevant. It depends on who's using the technology.
I like that. And so, like,
Yeah.
so for us then in this particular situation, and I think this is something I can't wait for other teams to explore at scale, because I think you're getting at something really, really, really interesting. So, you know, we wanted to have it community based, right? So you go to the Minter and there's like some base rarities, and there's like a bunch of stuff that's kind of baked in to the probability of what it's going to look like. But then it's the actual person, it's the community member that, you know, adds in all the flavor, which is why like the NFTs that we've been getting have been so freaking fun, right? Like that. So the intentionality and the artistry, you know, a bit of it comes from us and from randomness, but most of it comes from the people that are actually going in and putting the words in. That's one of my favorite things about it anyway, just because it's been really amazing watching what people have done.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it also depends on the creativity of the team building the product, because whatever they build, the resulting NFT, the resulting product, will only be a consequence of the creativity of the team who built the platform in the first place.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, and it's really like you know, we could make, and we actually talked about doing this, like just making an NFT generator, right? Where, you know, you go in and you like, you know, put your words into like a mid journey, whatever, you put your prompt in there. And you just like mint an NFT, right? Like that's super easy.
Yeah.
But also, like, who cares? No one will care about that.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It just doesn't matter. So yeah, having, you know, I mean, really functionally, the biggest thing for us is going to be the fact that this is yes, DC. You know, it's gonna be, you know, a game, you know, there's gonna be multiple tokens attached to it, blah blah blah. And like, but then, you know, there's people, and I haven't been one of these, but I know Dennis early on in the Uplift days is like, let's have some lore and let's have like a story or whatever. And that's been some feedback that's come back where people, you know, kind of really want that. And I know Tuttle was really excited about that as well, which is why, you know, every single one of these things, like, it generates sort of a character and a story based on all of the things that went into the image. So that story is always going to be different, but it pulls in old stories, right? So, you know, old characters that have been minted by somebody else, it'll actually pull them in and create a relationship. And that relationship actually then ends up being in the lore, so that when, you know, those NFTs start, you know, battling it out and fighting each other, that starts to create victory stories or loss stories, and then that becomes part of the lore, right? So like, it really is this sort of generated story that becomes a much bigger thing. I don't know honestly what that's going to look like in a year after doing all this, but I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and it's interesting, but let me here be the party pooper, be the, I don't know, how do you call that? But
you're red teaming constructive criticism. I don't know, whatever.
The constructive critic here.
Yeah. The party pooper.
What's the cool thing about that? You're creating it, and yeah, what can I do with the result? Why is it that better than
I mean, you
than
might
no
not
story
care
at all? Why is it better than a story written
honestly,
by a human being?
Yeah, that's I mean, the whole like AI versus human being thing that, you know, people might find an interesting reason to argue about it for a little while. That's going to go away. It's just
No.
like,
I think that there are many things where I think AI, it's a very valid tool and can really help you. As I have mentioned previously here on the show, when I'm writing a text and I'm not a native English speaker, but I write my text as good as I can, and then an AI makes it more feel more English native and so on, and structures it in a better way, and maybe even highlights some of the important ideas, and you can tweak it. And then you say, okay, AI really help me create a better text, create something that people will engage in a better way with, something that it's more understandable, that helps me convey my message. What are you achieving with that? That's my question. What's this big thing that
we would need a team of a dozen people to write the stories and then also integrate them in a way that a team of dozen people might not even be able to do it. Right? Like that's, again, like assuming that if we start with the assumption that having all of those stories and the interlinking lore is going to be interesting and valuable, and I think that's a question that people can ask. I've had people tell me that's really amazing. I've had people tell me that it's not interesting at all, right? So like that's going to be like a personal preference thing. We can now do with AI something that I would probably have to pay like $200,000 a year to produce, and it's going to be pennies. Dang it. All right, well, that got so interesting. Anyway, so we need to make a TC AI so that he can get some sleep. I hope he gets some sleep. I actually took 2 melatonin, which is really just like sort of medium high dose or whatever for what the ones I get, just because I haven't been getting enough sleep either. I had a gig till really late last night. I was like, okay, I'm gonna freaking knock myself out. Luckily melatonin works, so it's not like actual sleeping pills or anything. It's just like, I think it's just like a hormone or something like that, but goddamn, it worked. I slept in till 8:30, which was amazing. Very excited about that. So I hope that Juan comes back and that Spain did not get hit by a meteor. That would be very sad. I just cut Juan's feed. I mean, that, it's funny. I wonder if I could actually go find that. There's something that Neil deGrasse Tyson is very often quite good. But on this particular one, a buddy of mine sent to me, he basically talking about how, like, with the how good deepfakes are going to get, that it's going to basically like destroy the effectiveness of the internet, and he's completely wrong. And we can talk about why. All right, so hello.
Yes.
TC just discovered that AI cut your feed because you were talking shit.
No. I was using my VPN and I had trouble with the bandwidth. I was using the free version.
There you go.
That's what happened.
Can't use the free version. I can't. I mean,
no. I have to start paying. I have to stop being cheap and start paying for what I use.
It's funny. I just started using that. Why did I get the VPN? Oh, it's for the Ton wallet. Because I can't hit the Ton wallet unless I run.
Yes, because you're based in the US.
Through somewhere else, yeah.
Yeah.
TC, I take 2 melatonin and 1 Benadryl. Only thing that knocks me out. You know what's really messed up? There are some. I was just telling these guys I actually got some sleep because I was bored. The me taking Benadryl, Michelle gave me, I can't even remember, she's a neuropharmacologist, so like she knows all that shit or whatever. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you some Benadryl and you're gonna fall asleep. I was like sick with the flu or some shit like that. And I got so fucking wired, and apparently like there's a small percentage of people you give them Benadryl and it just like jacks them up, which makes no sense. Like, why do I have to be one of these people that's just,
and you're part of that group?
100%. Like, and not in like a sane way. Like, I was up and just wingy as hell. Yeah, it was remind me of like those videos of the kids after they go to the dentist and they're all like just completely and totally fucked up. That was me. Anyway, she was entertained at least. Magnesium threonate. I don't even know what that was. Well, TC, I'm glad you get some sleep, man. The whole world changes. Definitely when you're me. I get real dumb when I start losing sleep, getting freaking whiny and blah blah blah. It's really lame. Okay, so I think so. And I kind of wanted to like brainstorm ways that we actually could do it, right? Because I think there's a lot of teams that we're seeing now that are saying, "Hey, we're going to use AI." And it's dubious at best. Now, one of the examples where I actually trust them, Adrian and Spielworks, they're talking about using generative AI and having like AI characters in games and stuff, and that's something I actually mapped out for the Uplift, right? If we had a ton of people that gave a shit about the Uplift, that's probably something that we would deploy. But obviously we're bouncing off the bottom with that until we figure out what we want to do with it. But that's something you could do, right? You could have a character that, had character traits or what have you. You could be having conversations with them. That character could be making decisions about what it wants to do in the game, and would make that experience completely unique for every player. I think there's a lot of different ways you could do that too.
Yeah, no, I fully get you, and I think that in theory it sounds amazing. My question there will be: are we already there? Are we really ready for something like that?
I mean, so if you look at NPCs in video games, there are quadrillions of them, right? And I think the dialogue in those things, I mean, and I'd love for people to actually comment on this. So this is an interesting question. I played, what was that Bethesda one, the Star one? I don't even know what the freaking name of the thing is. I didn't play it for very long because I suck at playing video games. But the dialogue they spent, there's like 10,000 hours or some ridiculous thing. I can't remember what it is. That number's probably wrong, but like a huge amount of recorded audio from voice actors or what have you, right? And so like that industry is very large. So clearly there's demand. The whole idea that there's demand for that is let's assume that that's settled. Now, anyone with Whisper AI and even the new model from Facebook that they just dropped, that's like GPT-4o level and completely and totally free and open source, right? You attach that to Whisper AI. Whisper AI is the thing that can take any text and then map it to a voice, and you can actually change the voice. It's fucking slick as fuck. But you could give a character sort of its parameters and have it run, but then it would literally never be the same anytime you went through. It would never be the same necessarily, between player to player or whatever. So it becomes this novel experience that I think people would dig.
Yeah, no, I fully agree, and I think that kind of experience is it's something amazing. My real question is: are we at the level where that can really be done, or it's still somehow
for
imperfect?
Real? No, it'd be 100 times better than NPCs right now, guaranteed. We really are at that level. I gotta show you some of this stuff. Like we did, I think it was about 7% of the available training data. Like I recorded some of my voice. Tuttle was fucking around with it. To see if we could basically recreate my voice. Mm-hmm. And again, like you could put in, I think it was like 30 or 40 minutes of audio. And I think we put in like 3 or 4 or something like that. And it was close enough that we were both freaked out. And you can like make any voice, right? So like the whole idea that you can have, something, read it and have it be interesting is totally there. The whole idea that you could have an NPC that kind of, you give it a character and then it becomes that thing and says interesting things based on the other data around it, 100% we're there. Like we could build that.
Yeah, that's the part where I'm not sure, that's the part that I would say I'm not sure, because I haven't seen an AI yet that it's so impressive that I say, wow, this is really amazing. And don't get me wrong, I think they can do amazing things, but for the demo, they are always prepared and kind of they know they have a pre-existing script that they know that the AI will be able to handle. What was
the last demo you saw? Because I think like that was always my criticism about like the robot thing. Freaking Russell knew those guys. I can't remember the name of the stupid robot, but it's really bad. And like they, had it running a bit of a large language model, but not really, but it was mostly scripted responses. And that's why I'm so pissed off at Twitter. Like they say that their support is supposed to be AI, and it's literally just like a fucking phone tree. It's not AI at all, right? And so like I feel like the examples, I feel like I need to build this now just to show you that this is not like the state of the art that people are using. Even Twitter is garbage. Yeah. Right? Like anyone can build something better than that in a weekend, which is like just completely bananas. So I'm excited, frankly, that you haven't seen it yet, because that's gonna be a thing that people see really soon.
Yeah, but I think that now that you say that, I think a B3 is also part of AI.
What's that?
A B3 is it's an algorithm for AI. So even if it's a tree with some base responses and so on, that's part of AI. That's something you use. It's an algorithm.
Yes, It's crap.
Oh, yes, it is. Well,
it's so bad.
I don't know if it's crap or not, but my point is, if someone with the resources of Twitter, someone with the resources of Amazon, they haven't really managed to nail it with an AI that can replace people.
Yeah,
well, I think that,
again,
I'm sorry to defer there. I think that they have tried and they are trying, but I think that the technology is not mature enough to trust that will take care of that amount of customers without having a negative impact in their sales.
Yeah, you said this before, because there's like more of a sort of a risk factor for them than there would be for like us experimenting or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think, because when it's really there, I think all those big companies with the deep wallets will be able to adopt it and roll it out. Of course,
it's interesting because they're not.
It's a large project,
right? I think this is where it's frustrating, because like if you start to do multi-step reasoning, basically like pinging the AI more than once, even very, very low, like GPT-3 now, which is amazing. That's really low, but going back to the older and now much faster models, if you ask it a couple times and then ask it to check, the answers go exponentially up to the point where they're accurate in whatever context you're actually trying to get it to do it, right? But now they're actually starting to bake multi-step reasoning into the models themselves. Like the model that GPT-5 is supposed to launch pretty soon is supposed to be smarter, right? So like it's not that if you're just rote generating things, you couldn't generate hallucinations if it sort of didn't know, or if it got kind of confused or whatever. But it's now got like multi-step reasoning baked into it so that it's going to actually start catching that stuff. And again, like we're just going to see the sort of Atari level version of that. And so that might start getting it to the point where larger companies could dial it in and do that. But that's like it feels like for NFTs or for games or Web3, having the ability to generate stuff that is new, like hallucinating is kind of the point. Right, like that's my favorite thing about it. Like that's the sort of the chaotic noise that can sometimes lead to results that are just like really good.
Yeah.
All right, another one that I'm excited about that I think that we're still going to build at some point is sentiment analysis. We had. We got an AI for MetaMinds, just like a little process that'll check out YouTube videos and give you summaries or reviews or whatever. So it'll do that for websites as well. So we were thinking of basically making an organized one that would go to the top 10 crypto YouTube pages, go to the top 10 crypto news sites, and basically scrape them every day and give you a sentiment analysis of all the different things that are starting to get attention or starting to seem bullish or whatever. And then basically take all of that data and run it through a couple different sentiment analysis versions, have them duke it out and pick the best three.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting case. I would love to see that. And I think that's easier. It's more, well, I don't know if it's easier, but I think it's it can be more accurate faster than something that has to reason and follow a full conversation. And
right. Yeah. I agree. Just because it's just that one thing I've noticed, like if you give it text, it's going to be able to basically analyze that text in a pretty reasonable way, right?
Yeah.
And have it. I mean, the kind of scale thing is, I can't watch 10 YouTube videos a day. I can't like go over 10 crypto news things a day, but this thing really could, right?
Yeah,
and come up with a summary,
make a very good summary, and even rate things on based on quality, whatever, and say this is similar, and these three very respected analysts say something very similar, and these other 6 very respected analysts say the opposite. So you figure out that, but it could even check statistics based on the past, who has been right and wrong more times and stuff like that. And
that would be the best reason to start doing it sooner, because then we start getting all of that data aggregated, right? And so it can then start, looking back through its summary history and run like RAG searches on that retrieval augmented generation, like basically like looking through its own kind of longer term memory, which is a little bit more complicated, but stuff that I think is starting to get pretty good. Even if it just had, if it started taking, well, and we would definitely do this, right? Whatever it picked every single day, it would start to analyze short term, medium term, long term. Were those picks successful? And then that could actually run into. We've got a couple of things designed where you basically can have outside of this system, you have an AI that's strictly tasked with overviewing this one to see how good it is and see how it could get better. You can run that every day as well, and then like pump all that information into it and create some really interesting stuff. One of these days we'll get around to making that, because we've had a couple ideas around that, and then DAOify the access to it or something like that. Who knows? Assuming that it worked, like it might just be garbage. I don't think it would be, but I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, Internet Supercut. Activision reportedly sold an AI-generated Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 cosmetic. Nobody even knew till it came out. I heard about that. I'd love to say I'm surprised, but anybody who's messed around with Midjourney is not going to be surprised by that. That's what it's able to produce now is just shockingly good.
Yeah, I think my concern with all of that is I have seen things generated by AI that are really amazing, but I don't know how repeatable it is, or how easy it is, or feasible it is to really build. For example, just imagine that you wanted to do a Netflix series 100% AI generated. Will you really be able to generate something that makes sense and make episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and fully?
I've seen. I mean, I like the dog, the Wuffy dog, 100% AI, and so like you can make a character that is coherent in that way. Right, but that's definitely not like have this character run through this room
basic.
Right. It is, but I think that conceptually it's not different, right? So I think once that scales, and I've seen some video coming out even just in the last month actually, where you can create coherent scenes with a single character in it, and it looks exactly like the same character, and you can kind of run it through different scenarios. But like going from that to building the Simpsons where the house is always the same and the flowers is always at the same place, right? Like that, having that level of sort of permanence in the background and all that kind of stuff, that I don't even know what's involved with how to make it that that coherent. But yeah, it's interesting to see like this is the beginning of this technology, right? Where it's actually starting.
For sure. At some point, it will it will be possible for sure.
100%. Speaking of which, I should really figure that out for bags, because that'll be fun. We find out.
Yeah,
I've seen some places where you could do it. I just can't. I can't remember where they are. Tuttle probably knows, but I'll figure it out. Because it's cool, like having different thematic things all the time with Wuffy. It hits. It's cool shit.
Yeah. So for a project like launch bags and our mini app, our Tapper for our token bags, what do you see, or how do you think we can benefit from AI to grow that?
I was thinking about this after we decided to do this morning. Once the ecosystem is a little bit healthier, more tokens, more projects, more teams, or whatever, creating a really basic like Twitter sentiment analysis for the ratings, I think would be relatively easy.
Yeah, but there you are already coming to a point where the project already has seen some growth, but
not necessarily, because like the score in the beginning could be 0.
No. Yeah, I agree, but there will be Twitter content being created by the community and so on. But I say more for someone who's starting, and the project is starting. How can AI help a starting project grow?
I mean, that way. Right? If people know that we're putting out a review of everybody's social media presence, and your score is fucking 5 and Anon's is 150, well, you're going to be paying attention to that, right? Like it's
Sure.
a very, very simple attention metric that, on our ratings page gives people not only an understanding of where they are, but where they could be, right? And that as like that to me, I think would be an instantaneous growth thing. It's a reminder for projects. Like if you don't have a plan for social, then that's just going to be a rating thing that doesn't even exist, right? So it establishes a carrot specifically designed for growth. Now, granted, like if you're thinking about dropping a token, then I think like the brainstorming capacity for this stuff is just super fun. I've done it a bunch of times now, where you sort of give it a basic idea for a game or for tokenomics, and basically say like, B1 red team this, and it'll run through and wandinate the whole thing and come up with all the holes in your theories and yada yada yada. But then it'll also help you come up with ideas to kind of flesh it out. So like that, the sort of brainstorm collaboration that you can do with AI, I've had tremendous success with that. It's been really, really useful for that, to kind of hone it in and create a good starting position for it. I mean, a lot of people kind of know what they want to do already, but that's been kind of fun. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I don't know, because my experience with AI has not been that great, in the sense that when I try to do something, I think that it's still very simple, and for every idea that an AI proposes, there are a lot of holes there, a lot of things that still need to be handled. And if you try to, well, if you ask the AI to help fill in those gaps, most of the times it hasn't been capable of doing it.
Huh. I've had exactly the opposite response.
Really?
Yeah. And I use it every day.
Yeah, maybe
and I
gave up early on, but I don't know. Yeah.
One thing I would suggest, I mean, if you don't have the paid version of ChatGPT, highly recommend it. Now, that said, like Llama did their open source thing. Maybe over the break, I'll look into what it's going to cost us to deploy that, because then maybe we could just have an AI that internally that would be as good as that, and then we wouldn't have to pay for.
Yeah, no, I have the paid version of ChatGPT and everything, but
one thing I would suggest then is your morning is when the rest of us muggles are asleep. Use it then. I have noticed a huge difference between even like really early on in the morning and between like lunch and kind of dinner time, Eastern Standard Time. Because like when the servers start getting hit more, it gets dumber. Like legitimately, it gets dumber and lazier, which has been really amazing. Like the kinds of responses you can get early on is a whole thing.
And maybe prompting, what I see here, that I need a lesson in prompting.
That's true.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. I think that crafting good prompts, it's an art. It's something that you really have to become good at.
It is. That's definitely a good point. If you heard of AI Dungeon, it's actually shockingly good at responding and keeping a story going no matter what you throw at it. I actually haven't heard of AI Dungeon. I would love to look into that. Yeah. And I think like the creating those character-based AIs, we've played around with that a bit, and you really can, if you want to keep it honed into not only a storyline but like a directional storyline that goes in a particular direction, you could do that. I was sort of messing around with that with the custom GPTs, because I kind of wanted to make like a daily check-in thing. Right. And so you're basically you're giving it sort of the general idea of what you want to do. And what I really wanted to do was like have it go step by step, which you would have think would be really easy, but it wasn't. So like I had to figure out how to basically, in one block of text that would go into the that would basically go into the prompt every single time I said anything to it. Right. It was, I basically had them all numbered, and I, had to show it in a few different places. Like, you're going to go through each one of these things by number. You're going to ask me when we're done, yada, yada, yada. But then it ultimately did it, right? It's getting one set of directions every single time. And it'll actually go through every single one step by step, which means you could do that for a story, right? And like wherever the conversation goes or whatever, it's going to understand the next thing that that it kind of wants to do or to sort of direct you at, even if you try to talk to it about freaking tomatoes or toast or something. So yeah, it's interesting for sure. Getting as much as you can out of it. But I'm excited for the this kind of next year with it, Juan, because I think I've obviously I use this a lot. I've been thinking about it a lot. I think we've managed to simulate what the reasoning is going to be like with these new models. Just basically doing like kind of multi-step stuff. But like the whole idea that level of reasoning is actually going to get baked into the language model is something that I'm having a hard time processing how much of a big deal that's going to be. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be like, it could be as much of a phase change as going from, nothing to GPT-3. But we'll see. Not 100% sure. When I first started messing with AI, I didn't think it was great, but did a ton of research on prompting, and it opened a whole world. Funny thing is, to start, you can actually ask ChatGPT to generate you a better version of a prompt. You can give it, let the AI tell itself more. That's a very, very good idea. It really works, right? Like what's a better, and it's actually really easy to design that too, right? Like if you wanted to have an interface where, we build you something, one that was like, hey, I want to ask it this, and it automatically makes the prompt better and then gives you a better response. That's one system prompt, right? Like one asks question, we send that question plus this question to the AI, and it actually runs it in the background and does it. Yeah, it's pretty fun. And I mean, the amount of data, and they keep saying, oh, we're not using data to train our new models. That's fucking horseshit. They have to. But like they've got the original thing that kind of took GPT, 2 when they had it was like very silly, right? Like it sort of worked enough for scientists to be like, oh, this is interesting. Like the result is interesting. If we scaled this up, it might get better or whatever, right? When they had added human reinforcement learning to it, right, where you would basically make a response and humans could decide, okay, that's fucking silly, or this is actually not bad or whatever, right? They had thousands of people doing responses on that to train the next model, and that's actually what made GPT-3 what it was. And now, like GPT-3, they have 100 million people using it, right? And they're going to see, like, here's the ones that were successful, here's the ones that weren't successful. And that all then becomes part of the model and part of the way that it works, which I think is probably one of the reasons why it's going to end up being significantly better. But we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see. But yeah, no, I think it will improve over time for sure.
Yeah. That's where I wonder, I talked to Brad, we should have him on the show actually. We've been trying to get together to mess around with a couple of different ideas, but he's they had a company, back in I think they still have it actually, back in the last bull market. It's been running through the whole time, that basically just allows you to build your own trading bots on different platforms. And I was talking to him about this. We could kind of run sentiment analysis. He said we could also run it through some Python databases to run chart analysis and to run historical price data analysis, and like a bunch of like really, really amazing things. So I don't know where this goes yet, but all of this stuff is going to end up being AIs that have sort of agency, that can become agents and do things as you direct her towards different goals, right? So having an AI that can actively trade is something that I think I know we're going to see, but it's something that I think even we're kind of close to being able to build. Assuming that I'm doing it with Brad, or even with you guys, where you guys can actually run the trading bot side of it, because we have no clue how to do that. But yeah, it's that part I think is going to be interesting, and I wonder what other ways it would be possible to have an agent in Web3. Even if it was like, if we can make a TC, all I want you to do is look at all the pools, and if any of them are interesting, or if TC buys anything, buy it.
But that doesn't even require AI.
And well, it requires eyeballs. Well, I guess you just have a script that was running and following.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my point. And I think that's something I see very often. People saying, oh, we need AI for this. Yeah. And in reality, they don't need AI. They just need a simple algorithm, a simple bot, a simple program that knows how to do something repetitively and react to a specific event in a specific way. I think AI is really when you want something that you don't, you have a set of information, it needs to be analyzed, and you have to come with an non-predefined action. Otherwise, if it's a predefined action to react to
you don't need
a well-known thing, you don't need AI.
Yeah, it's like using a backhoe for something a spoon would work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So Supercut, I've had great experiences using multiple AIs at once for the same project, have them work out problems working together with each other's answers, especially if you add a follow-up question, add info. That's what all of our hive minds were. We basically would have, question, team of people analyzing it from different perspectives, summarizers, analyzers, and like the answers that we would get back from that stuff were just shockingly good. Especially works great if you use different models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and have them talk it out. I haven't done that yet, and I like it. Like being able to ping different AIs. We have one where we basically had it toggled between Gemini and ChatGPT, but I really like the idea that you can sort of preset them up to run different ones. Especially now, like Claude, from all reports, is significantly better at coding right now. So you can sort of have, lean into whichever one was scoring better at whatever task and do that. That's really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. You can also use AI to help you code that algorithm. Right. Because I wouldn't know how to do it. Right. So like creating a Python script that could do this, that, or next thing, it's simple for you. I wouldn't even know where to start. But now using AI, I could build it by the end of the day. And for me, that's a phase difference for me. And I get like it's inelegant code and but I couldn't write any code. So for me, it's like it's 100% different.
Recently we canceled all the VS Code AI thing, the thing for AI for coding that we have in the team, because we have the feeling that it's getting worse by the hour. It's helping less and less. It used to be very helpful in the beginning, and now we feel like it's.
I think there's a real problem with attention in the server farms, right? Like when they're getting pinged way more, they're being able to ascribe less and less sort of attention over time to each user's question, because that's like I've noticed it for real. Like GPT-4, first thing in the morning is brilliant and wants to do work. GPT-4 in the afternoon is fucking lazy. Like for real, like it gets dumber. It gets way dumber. The more people are using
it. He was well trained by human beings.
I mean, there's always that possibility, right? There's even like the whole prompt engineering thing. If you tell it you're going to tip it 300 grand, it gets better. Like provably.
Oh, really?
Like, they've done studies on this. Yes. If you tell it you're going to pay it really well, it gets better. Which that shouldn't be a thing, but it is. No. Yeah. I've been learning to finally code because of AI. Me too. After failing to do that for a decade, it's a personal trainer who can explain to matter how many questions. That's always the thing. Like I actually have it set up whenever I'm trying to do coding stuff, that it'll basically make like the README file and sort of like trying to organize and explain everything while we're doing it, because I literally don't know anything. And it's been, for me, that's like it's all or nothing, right? Like I now can look at an issue and go like, could I actually build this? And the answer is yes. Now, is it going to take me 3 times longer than it's going to take you? Yes. But I don't have to learn how to code for 10 years.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I think that if you don't have the skills, and especially if what you want is the AI to explain you what a piece of code does, that the AI will be able to do it very well.
Yeah. It's been really successful. Yep.
Yeah. But before I forget, and getting out of the AI topic for 5 minutes, I just wanted to let everybody know that the Automator drop will close after the show. I will stop it so that I can get the funds out, buy back the R1, and I will also stop the possibility to buy Betsy's with R1 so that I can see how much R1 we have there and put it into the mining pool, which I'll be creating tomorrow. And if everything goes as expected, mining will start this weekend. And as I won't be here, then complain to Corey if something went wrong.
Yeah, just complain to me. It's good. I like it. I need to make an AI that's just my complaint department. That's just like perfectly magnanimous and super helpful, like almost like nausea-inducing level helpful. No matter how complaining you get, it just constantly, just desperately wants to help you with whatever's going on.
Yeah,
because that's how I want to be. And sometimes I'm not. Oh man. Yep.
Yeah. No, those AIs for customer support. No, please.
At scale, they're not working. It's frustrating because I know how well they could work, and they're so dumb. It drives me nuts. We built, this is the thing, Juan. We've built, autoresponders for, a couple like bigger clients or whatever, right? They're very good. Like they're very, very, very good. We could make it respond exactly the way that you do in Discord.
Yeah, they're very good. You know what happens? They are very good at responding the questions that you think people will ask. They are terrible at asking
humans
questions that real stupid people asks.
So are humans.
The that we have is that more than 50% of humanity.
So, I mean, the easy answer to that, you've trained people to talk to people in Discord. If you don't know the answer, just say, hey, listen, I'm going to go ask somebody who knows the answer to that. And anytime it did that, it would automatically send you a message on Discord asking you what a good answer would be. And then it would give that answer. Like, this is not hard, right? Like, in the same way that you have to train, people that have never done this before to be competent at it and to get better. Like we can do that with AI right now. And it's, and it never goes to bed.
That I agree. And I
think the AI just doesn't want to work The AI just doesn't want to work customer support either.
No, that's boring. Who wants to work customer support? Come on.
So good. Oh man. Poor AI.
Yeah, that's true.
True. Yeah, the Web3 thing. So other than, I think image or story generation, and I think we could make some pretty powerful sentiment analysis, or even like sort of financial analysis of different things in the space.
I think that there are already many models for financial analysis, for price prediction and all of that. There are many models that
there's tons, especially like on the raw data. There's tons of stuff that you can do out there.
Yeah,
I just think like the being able to run sentiment analysis at scale is sort of interesting to me, because it's something personally I could never do. Again, like I would have to hire people to spend a large number of hours doing that, right? So the cost of using AI versus using 20 people in India or whatever is pretty dramatic for me. So I want I'm trying to think of like, what did we miss? Is there anything else? And I don't know if there is. Well, I mean, getting decent ones deployed in Discords would be good. Assuming we could actually get them to work in a way that we really like.
Yeah, I think that right now they can help in a lot of ways, but it's still limited what you can do with AI in Web3.
Yeah.
And I think that people are really saying they are using it more to create hype and try to get more people on board and really using it.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to do the show today, to actually explore how you could do it, because I started 3 different projects this week. I saw AI on their list, and then when you try and find out how they're using it, they're just talking about it. They're not using it. And that makes me annoyed, because we like to deploy shit, not promise shit, and then never deploy it. That's just that's our personal preference. Even though, and Juan and I talked about this off air, we could probably make way more money if we just promised shit. For real. Like, people want, if you look at the actual demand in the market, people want hype way more than they want whatever's delivered. It's just, it's like the sell the news thing, right? Because all of this is attention. And if people don't know, they sort of map their own desire, hype to it or whatever. And there's teams that just, start promising the next thing and don't ever actually launch anything. And I've never constitutionally been able to do that. It drives me nuts. It just makes me a crazy person. Probably because I bought a whole bunch of white paper ICOs and got freaking rackety wrecked back in 2017 or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's still out there. I think we really could make way more if we never deployed anything and just promised a bunch of shit and said AI is going to be in it. But I would hate myself. So what are you gonna do?
It's still something that happens, indeed.
It is. On that note, I do actually have an idea about something that we can do for something we definitely are going to deploy, but before we deploy it, I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, the lesson for me is no matter what we deploy, never miss an opportunity for a hype cycle.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Yeah. So
True.
That'll be fun. So what are we going to talk about tomorrow? It's our last day before the end of school.
It's like end of school. You do nothing when you...
I guess, hey?
When you go to school the last day before vacation, what do you do? Nothing.
Since tomorrow's title is just FTW.
It's a law of nature. I think that happens anywhere in the world. It's the same.
I like it. All right. So, bottle of wine show tomorrow or what?
No bottle of wine show tomorrow.
All right. I would do it. It's almost afternoon.
It's almost afternoon.
When we do our show, it's almost afternoon.
True.
And I don't actually have a show tomorrow night unless I got called in somewhere. I'm actually kind of excited about that. I've already done a bunch of shows this week. So it's going to be me and the Babs and the dogs. Maybe some paddleboarding. We don't have a sailboat. We could at least get out on the water and
paddleboarding.
That's
nice.
It's pretty good.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was good. We haven't been out in a while either, which is dumb. We should sell for that. Do like a little sunset situation.
Yes. Good.
All right. Oh, wait a minute.
No. I'm leaving.
I'm a hot dog.
The second you realize, no. Oh, that's price of admission right there. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So, what are you planning on doing for our little siesta break? Not really a siesta. That's more like a nap. Also, I suck at today.
Yeah. No, I'll be going to Madeira. It's an island in the middle of the Atlantic, from Portugal.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I hope it's good weather and not a lot of storms, but yeah.
Right. You guys sailing there or are you going to fly?
No, I'm going to fly.
Could you sail there hypothetically?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, for sure.
I guess, you're on the Mediterranean. You could basically sail anywhere.
Yeah. No, and but the only thing last time I tried to do vacation with the whole family on the sailboat. After 10 days, my daughters organized a mutiny and forced me to go back to back home. So no, that's something that
it's not
for part of the plan anymore. Yeah.
All right, got it. Got it. All right. Well, if you ever need a deckhand for anything like that, call me.
I'll do.
Yeah. That'll be fun. No, that checks out. 10 days is a lot too for people that aren't obsessed with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the point.
All right. So
okay.
Yeah, I guess tomorrow we're just gonna come and have a show and I don't know, just hang out and be like,
yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah, just before we finish this, if you go to Nifty Blocks now and you check your tokens, you go and check your tokens. If you own tokens from a liquidity pool, you will be able to see immediately, thanks to a logo, which liquidity pool is that, and the value of that LP token, which is something that was not possible in the past. There's nowhere where you can see the price of an LP token, but now you can see that on NFT blocks.
And that's basically just like taking the price of each one of the underlying tokens and kind of putting them together, or how's it calculated?
What's the value locked in the pool?
And your percentage of the pool.
And based on your percentage of the pool and the amount of LP tokens that you have, it gives you the value of your LP.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So that's something that
and I'm getting more excited about, trying to help Megan get these, pools set up. We're having to explain it a couple times, right? Having to go to the wallet and do some different things, do some stuff on Wax on Edge, yada yada. So like at the point where you can make the LP here, you can make the farms here, like all on Launchbags, it's gonna be really good. Like long term, it's gonna be really good.
Yeah. I think all of what we are doing right now is helping us get ready for the next 6 months, which I think will be of aggressive growth. So
aggressive.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes. So that's good.
I like it a lot. Yeah. Taken. This feels right, Juan. This feels correct.
It feels correct.
Take some time, rebuild the brain, get ready for the next sprint. Freaking go time. Go time.
Yes.
Yep. All right, cool beans.
No, but it's good.
All right, Red agrees. He saw awesome update. Rock and roll. Cool beans. All right. Got anything else, or should we break and come back tomorrow and hang out?
I think that will be it for today.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning and every morning. You guys are fantastic. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. And then again, we're taking a couple weeks off the show. I'll still be around, popping in, here, there, and everywhere. But I'm gonna try and rest my brain up and get ready for the next massive push. We already have tons of stuff planned for when we get back. There's going to be a lot of things going on. But yeah, you guys have fun. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
Boom the thing.